where to get funding for your business. This is such an important thing. There are so many different options, but you got to find the right choice for you. And I'm going to help you do that in this video here. Let's go. Okay, in this video, I'm going to share with you the best resource to find the best funding for your business, hands down, no questions asked. Number two, I'm going to tell you exactly how to look good for the banks and the lenders and investors so that you can get the money that you need so you show up the right way, you don't mess anything up on your application. And then last but not least, I'm going to give you some key information that most people do not know, and my students that do know have gotten over $100,000 in business funding. All right, let's go. So the first thing that you want to do that is so important, and I'm telling you, like so many people, they go back and forth and they hem and they haw, but the best thing that you need to do when you are going to get funding for your business is you have to assess your situation, okay? How long have you been in business? Do you actually have a business license? Do you have your EIN number and your Dun & Bradstreet? Do you have any business credit? Things like that. That's what you're going to need to assess. Like, you need to know your situation, because each lender, each bank, each investor, whoever you go to, they're going to have their criteria. So you got to assess your situation so that you know, so you don't even waste any time applying with companies that say, okay, you need 5 years and $500,000 in revenue, or you can have 12 months, but you only need 10,000 in revenue. And how long is that 10,000 over? Is it over a month? Is it over a year? So you got to know for your own situation so that you can quickly evaluate based on their guidelines and not waste any time in this process. So again, assess your situation. What do you have? And then the next thing that is super important is you have to assess and think about how much you are going to request. So before you ever say, I'm going to get business funding, how much money are you looking for? $10,000, $25,000, $100,000? $500,000, $2 million? Like what? I'm just kidding. Like, what is the number? How much money do you need for your business? So before you make any requests, do not just start requesting and applying for loans. You got to assess how much you need first. The second thing that we need to talk about is, what are you going to use the funds for? Now, this is so important because so many people say, I need business funding. I need $20,000 or $100,000. Great. Now, what are you going to use that money for? Before you ever apply, these are the questions that they are going to ask you, and these are the answers you need to already have thought out. You need to already know the answer to these questions because they're going to ask you, and you have to have a good answer. And so I'm going to tell you what that is. So you got to start thinking about what you're going to use the money for. So let me give you some cool things. You're not going to be able to use this business funding to pay off your personal credit cards, or to catch up your student loans, or to catch up on your rent, or any personal thing. Do not mention anything personal about what you are going to be using the funds for. You need to talk about just the business. Are you expanding your business? Are you going to be hiring employees? Are you getting a website? Are you using this money for marketing? Expansion, inventory. What are you using the money for? And I basically just gave you the words. I literally just gave you the words that you would need to do. One of the best things that you want to say is that you're expanding your business. So one of the questions, or the answers to the question, would be business expansion, okay? You're expanding your business, you're growing your business. That's pretty much what you should be using the money for without me actually knowing you and meeting you and, looking at your situation. It's probably for business expansion, okay? You don't want to say it's for a startup. You just never want to say that, or I need to get my business license. That's why I need a business loan. No. That's not going to work. They want to invest or lend money to a company that they think is going to actually make money, and that is basically lending to you, your ideas and your work ethic and all of that you're bringing to the table. And so what are you going to use the money for? Think about that and have the answer already written out and ready for them, like you've actually thought about it and you actually can confidently know what you're going to use the money for. The next thing that you need to do is assess your situation, but from a financial point. Like, okay, you've assessed your situation, you've assessed your business, how long you've been in business, what your business is going to do. You know all of those things. The next thing you were doing was telling them what you're going to use the money for. The next thing that you want to do is, what do you already have that's going to make you an attractive candidate to lend money to for your business. And that starts with what you've already been able to do. You know, what are your accomplishments already? Do you have certain education? Do you have certain degrees? Do you have work experience? Do you have 10 years of this or 20 years of that or a license in this? Do you have a 401k that has some money in it? What do you already have that boosts you up? Okay. A lot of people do not think of this. They just go to the bank and they give them whatever that they want or whatever it is that they ask them for. And that's why many of the applications are declined. Okay. And I'm giving you the secret sauce here. If you have a little bit of money in your 401k, you don't have to give them that money or spend that money. And I definitely do not recommend you just like take your 401k and start your business. If you have a 401k, for example, or if you have some money saved in an IRA or anything like that, you can leverage that money to get them to lend you money on your business, and you don't actually have to touch that money. And I know lots of lenders that will lend you probably up to like 10 times what you have in your 401k. Basic example. So say you had $10,000 in there, they would lend you $100,000, okay? And it's not necessarily that that loan is pledged on that loan. It's not. It's not collateral even in many cases. It is not, you're not actually using or giving up your 401k. You're just using that to show them that you've already have a history of saving money and that you are a good risk. So again, what education do you have? What credentials do you have? What licenses do you have? Or what assets do you have? And that does include your home if you own your own home. So start thinking of all the great things about yourself to tell people or to tell the lender, and so that you can present those things to them and make them want to lend to you. And last but not least, if you are ready to get business funding, me and my team and my company, we have options to help you. No, I am not a direct lender for businesses. I did used to lend to businesses. I don't really do that necessarily anymore, but I have a lot of people, a lot of investors, a lot of big companies that do, and we can help you with that. So if you're to the point where you're like, okay, I'm really serious, I want funding for my business and I would like a little bit of help, you can reach out to me and my team. Our number is 888-479-4542. It's also listed on the screen below. Again, 888-479-4542, or you can visit my website and get more information on ways to contact us. But because I am a real estate entrepreneur and I've helped so many people, I have been able to access some really great companies that want to help other companies, and I can tell you exactly how to do it. If you want that step-by-step, if you want some of that hand-holding, you can give my office a call, and we have credit specialists that can help you. So go ahead and make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click that little notification bell so that you will be notified every time that I put a video out. I am putting out content every single weekday just for you. I want to make sure that you guys are successful and that you have everything that you need and all the information and education to help you be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.